Hello and welcome to this first story of the Walking Podcast. My name is Robert Ojana and I had the desire to create this podcast primarily and mainly for myself to share my ideas on certain topics while just exploring. So the mere idea behind this podcast is that I'm just walking around wherever I am and while recording an idea for one to just get this beautiful background noise, because that's what the world is about. It's all about how we manage to create this this environment for us to live in. And there's almost no space anymore where this human created noise would not exist. It's like right now I'm just walking in my hometown in Germany, in Karlsruhe. And this is just all the environment that creates the noise that you hear in the background. So why should I just stay at home, record an idea, and not have this noise behind me? Because it's just something that I feel we should accept that it exists, and also kind of see the beauty in it, that we managed as society, as humanity, to create so much that actually now it's time to rethink of what we created and rethink it in a way to make it much more sustainable than it currently is. And that's probably what most of my ideas will be about, because I studied sustainable development myself, and I'm very much interested and passionate about the whole topic of sustainability, this integral systemic approach, and I just love to share conversations also with people on these topics. They can be of philosophical nature, of very technical nature, very practical nature. Just like to kind of acknowledge the entire diversity of topics that we as people can talk about to make our world a more sustainable place, and all together enjoy the good life and a satisfied state of being. So this first story is actually nothing more than just this introduction to my walking podcast idea that I will host as individual videos on YouTube, just because it's very easy to upload content to YouTube, because it's widely used, because it can be easily shared. And that's all I want to create and do with this podcast, is that I want to share my own perspective with other people and invite other people like you, my friends, my listeners, whoever this podcast gets to just take these ideas, play around with them, reflect on them, and then just get back to me to enjoy a break moment in which we can have a good conversation on these topics. And then also, if desired, we can also then create a subsequent podcast on such a conversation and host it on YouTube as well. And and you might wonder, why is this actually, I've introduced it already a little bit. Why is that called the Walking Podcast? Well, on the one side, because I'm just walking around wherever I am, and therefore just pragmatically calling it the Walking Podcast. But there's also more to it. I've recently conducted a small survey among members of a scientific network called SCORE, which is short for the Sustainable Consumption Action Research. No, hang on, once again, Sustainable Consumption and Production Research and Action Initiative. And I've sent this short survey to all members on their mailing list, asking them about the practices, the kind of activities they do in their day-to-day life to slow down and to simplify their life. I've asked these questions because for myself I realized, or I begin to realize, that key to my satisfied state of being, sort of the key to my good life, is whenever I slow down and whenever I simplify it as much as possible in a material sense. So the stuff and the things I have, the less I have, the more I tend to have this satisfied feeling of being. And the same goes for time. So the slower I live, the more quality time I enjoy, the more satisfied and the more happy I feel. So I've asked these questions to Scori members, to scientists, to scholars, to researchers. And what many kind of really said and referred to was actually walking. Many of them just walk, for example, to their offices, or just in their leisure time, to kind of free up their minds and to enjoy this very, very slow mode of commuting and traveling. So that's something that I really, really want to take seriously now for myself too. And I mean, as much as I was a fan of cycling in my day-to-day life, while, for example, listening to a podcast, I feel now in the last couple of days, I feel that just walking through a city, through like wherever you are, to your destination, is such enriching. Of course, it takes more time to walk, so effectively over the whole day, you will probably end up doing less, because a larger proportion of your time, of your day, is used for walking, just walking. But that doesn't mean that you cannot do anything else while walking. Of course, you can just look around, you can just like sense what is around you, become aware of your environment. But you could also, as I do, just, record a podcast or record a story to a friend. I love audio messages, like, the same idea as the podcast, by the way. Like, just send someone, an audio message with your thoughts and your feelings, emotions to someone, like a good friend or a family member. This is so beautiful. And so, in short, that's why I've decided to call this the Walking Podcast. Because I walk around and because I discovered how much I love to do that and to spend more quality time on walking while recording and sharing my ideas. So, 8 minutes. I feel that's enough for a short introduction to this, to the general purpose of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it got a bit clear what I intend to do with that podcast, with this very much, personal story of myself, sharing it with others and inviting others to take a break moment with me. So to really stop walking and then, to have a good conversation on certain topics, if you wish so. So I'm happy to read your comments, to get your reactions. And so my name is Robert Ojana, and I'm signing off for the Walking Podcast. And I wish you all a wonderful rest of the day, beautiful week, and hopefully listening or reading from you soon. Goodbye.